Hello everyone, this is Isan and welcome to my channel. Today we will talk about the next continent of the world, that is Europe. According to location, Europe occupies the western part of the world. Europe ranks 6th in size among the continent, only Australia is smaller one. According to population, there are 7.6 million people are living there and considered the second populated continent after Asia. If we talk about the exploring culture diversity of Europe, we will feel a huge difference. From the 12th century to the early 1900th century, Austria was a center of a huge empire, including much of the Central and Eastern Europe. Today it is a smaller landlocked country. Netherlands is one of the most densely populated countries in Europe. London, the capital of United Kingdom, largest city in Europe, and around about 9.6 million population are living in London. Vatican City, the center of Roman Catholic Church, is the world's smallest populated nation. Only about 1,000 people live there. Around about 11% of the total world population are living in Europe. Europe consists of 41 sovereign states. Europe are generally known as Peninsula of Peninsula. The European continent curves in and out in a series of large and small peninsula. For this reason, Europe often has been called a peninsula of peninsula. Scandinavian and Jutland Peninsula are known as Northern Peninsula. Iberian, Apennine and Balkan Peninsula are actually known as Southern Peninsula. If we talk about the mountains in Europe, Alps, the world's most famous peak, cover most of Switzerland and Austria. And Alps determine the history of Europe throughout the age and today provides the most developed playground in the world. Pyrenees, mountain range in southwest Europe. It is a natural boundary between Spain and France, and it separates the Iberian Peninsula from the rest of continental Europe. The European history are divided into different categories. Classical world, there were Greece, which reached its peak during the 400 and 300 BC. City-state its own way of life, but Greeks were united by a common language and culture. Greek city-state established the first democratic government, except women and enslaved persons. The Roman Empire reached the highest power between 27 BC and 180 AD. The Middle Europe, with the collapse of the West Roman Empire during this period, which is about 500 AD to 1500, a system of feudalism in which powerful lords gave land to nobles and returned for pledges of loyalty replaced centralized government. The Roman Catholic Church, the western branch of Christianity, became the most powerful force in Europe. After it, the Renaissance, a period of learning and the arts, brought about great advancement in Europe's civilization. Without revolution, the history of Europe is incomplete. Industrial revolution began in Great Britain in 1700th century and rapidly spread. Birth of globalization, being new method of production, transformed in Europe. The revolution caused a division of society like factory worker, owner, unhealthy condition. These social problems lead to communism. After it, in the first half of 19th century, major war resulted in great change in Europe. And this war is actually known as World War I, which was started from 1914 till 1918. Several Central and Eastern European nations won independence. Economic depression enabled dictator Adolf Hitler and Mussolini, and World War II broke out in 1939 and ended in 1945. This World War II brought the downfall of Western Europe as a central world power and started Cold War. During the Cold War, government in Eastern Europe and Western Europe were different ideology. Western Europe, democracy, commitment, and private ownership. And Eastern Europe, the communist part, allowed people little voice in government and society or the economy. According to the current situation, the most developed and social continent of the world, Europe, there are multi-political and social issues. Ukraine, 1 year after the latest stage of Russia invasion of Ukraine began, there is still no sign of an end to the war. In supporting Ukraine in both Europe and the United States, the political consensus on stepping up assistance is not a solid enough. As per China rule is likely to offer a peace plan for Russia and Ukraine. There is another issue in Europe. Sweden and Finland are want to become a NATO member this year. Sweden Foreign Minister told to the CNBC, Sweden and Finland NATO membership was just a matter of time. He added, it was a good news President Recep Tayyip Erdogan announced that the country was ready to resume negotiations and definitely suspending them in late January.